Good morning, everybody. So thank you for attending our first Breakfast Club seminar series. We have, I think, 7 more that are set up for 2021. And as you all know, we'd much rather be in person than doing it this way, but we managed it last year and we're going to do it again this year until we can get back in person. So I want to introduce my co-panelists today. You have Michael Stengel, who is from our Commercial Lines Property and Casualty agent with us. And then Carrie Nicholson is in the Employee Benefit Department. She is an HR and benefit consultant as well as an agent. So we are going to be sharing with you our new client portal. Some of you have used this in the past, but it got an update. And we just want to share all these cool resources with all of you. Couple housekeeping items. If you have any questions at all, Carrie will be monitoring the Q&A. And so just put your questions down there. She might answer it during the webinar. And if not, she'll mention to me, hey, Susan, can you do this? And I'll do that on the demo. We are going to get you out of here in 45 minutes. We know that your time is precious, so we want to get that taken care of for you and back to your day. But I know a lot of you that signed up today. Thank you so much. But I'm Susan Culhane, and I manage the Employee Benefit Department here at Nulty Insurance. So thank you so much for joining us today. One thing that we all joke about back in the day is, oh, wait, I forgot one thing. We are going to do a Breakfast Club drawing at the end of this 45-minute webinar. So if you can stay on, a lucky winner is going to pick their favorite breakfast place in the greater Kalamazoo, St. Joe area, and we are going to provide a gift certificate to that establishment. So we are going to support local because that's what we all need to do right now, is support our restaurants. So if you stay on, we're going to pick a name and we will get you your gift certificate to your favorite place. So I have a question for you. And this is probably for all the people who are probably 45 years or older. Does something like this look familiar to you? Back in the day, when I started in HR, which was a long time ago, we had tons of notebooks on our desks that looked like this. And it was salary benchmarking information. It was job descriptions. It was policies and procedures. So I had a whole shelf filled with notebooks like this. This is actually my mom's notebook. She lives with me and she doesn't know that I took it, but this is all of her, some of her documents. But we all used to have this, and we all spent thousands and thousands of dollars on getting that information for salaries, for job descriptions, safety manuals. I remember I had subscriptions. I was in a manufacturing and I had subscriptions to all these places, and I would just get these big notebooks in the mail. And it was a lot of money that we used to pay for that. So we didn't have the World Wide Web. So when the World Wide Web came in place, that really helped all of us. And so those were the old days. But now our client portal is something that you have. It's basically one-stop shopping is how I want to look at it. Anybody have a guess, and you can put it in the chat if you want to, of how many Google searches happen per day? So if you have a guess, just put it in the chat. If anybody wants to guess that, or actually maybe in the Q&A, whatever. I'm just curious if anybody has a thought on how many Google searches happen every single day.
15.
15. Okay, keep going. Anybody else have a guess? You can unmute yourself.
We have a guess of 1 million.
Okay, all right.
Oh, we have somebody who said, let me Google that.
Which is awesome, But every day, Google has between 3.5 and 5.5 billion searches a day. And I did the range of 3.5 to 5.5 because I think the 3.5 was in the US and the 5.5 was international. So can you imagine all the searches? Just think of how many times you might search something on Google or another platform. We all do it because it just makes our lives easier. Well, the goal of this client platform is that you can go here and you can find out a lot of that information that you might be Google searching. So it's all at one stop for you. So I'm just going to go in. You have access to this. If you don't remember how to log in as a client, you can email us and we will get you your login information again. But this is called our client portal. And when you log in, this is the first screen that you see. This is the home screen. I did make a company called the Breakfast Club. So here's the Breakfast Club portal. So when you log in, it's going to welcome you. There's going to be something in your inbox. And if you subscribe, which I'm going to show you later how to subscribe, it will get you an email weekly. And it will have these alerts in the email. So you can remember that you actually have this. So here's my inbox of just the most recent alerts that may have come out. The apps are right here that I can go through, and I'm going to show you how to use these apps, but this is kind of a quick search for the apps. The ones that I've recently been in, the Employee Handbook Builder and the Cobra Notice Generator just are here because those are my most recent searches. But then smart content. So you can do this in two ways. You have the human resources smart content, or you have the risk management, and you can toggle between those. And it's going to show you kind of some popular items that are happening. So if you want to do a newsletter on wellness, here's the newsletter. You can open it up, you can brand it to your company name and send it out to all of your team members. And you're going to look brilliant because it's already here, the content's there. HR briefs, benefit buzz, and then there's all these sections here that you will click on. I'm going to get to them in a little bit different way. But if I want to just, I'm in a hurry and I need to search something, and this literally just happened yesterday. One of our clients emailed me and they are doing HIPAA compliance. So if I just type in HIPAA here, oops, I spelled it wrong. Here is everything that you need at your fingertips for HIPAA. So you've got special enrollment rights, security rules, cyber liability complying with HIPAA, accepted benefits under the HIPAA and ACA. So all the privacy rule here, non-discrimination, all of this is at your fingertips. If you're in a hurry and you want to do a quick search, you can just put it right there. So there's other areas that we're going to get into, and it's in the content library. So this is an area that I'm going to bring in my team members for. There's all these different sections here: discipline, termination, employee benefits, forms and policies, healthcare reform, etc. But Michael, if you can turn your mute off and let me know, what are some popular things that you get questions on from clients in the commercial lines, the property casualty area?
Yeah, thank you, Susan. And I hope I'm coming through clear. So I robbed somebody else's office here this morning. So
okay.
I hope everything is okay here.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. One thing right now that is
Oh, I'm losing him.
we're continuously talking about, obviously, right now is safety. And one of my clients just
Michael, you are cutting out on us. I cannot hear you very well. Well, he mentioned safety. I'm just going to go on. I know we talked briefly about this, so I'm going to just type in. I know a big thing he mentioned earlier was safety manuals. So if I type in safety manuals, here are all the different types of safety manuals that are done for you. You have transportation employee safety manual, a construction safety manual. So I'm just going to view this. So you can bring it up, you can view it, you can see it in English, or you can see it in Spanish, which I think is such a helpful tool. For all of these documents that are out on our client portal, you can download them into Word and you can make any adjustments. You can brand them with your name And that's what I love about this resource. So here's a construction manual. Here you can see this good on the screen still, right? So I'm just gonna go through it. You can put your name in there and you can see it's 33 pages long. So let me get to this section here. So this is your commitment to safety. Here are all the different topics that are talked about, and hopefully you guys can see this on your screen. But this is the table of contents. So look at it's employee safety responsibilities, safety orientation training, return to work, an emergency action plan. That's one thing I know we get calls on as well. Contact information, harassment policy, etc. So this is just one example of what you can get out of this area. I know another one he had mentioned is
Fleet safety policy, Susan.
A fleet safety. Okay, let me do that. Fleet safety. So if I do fleet safety, here is an actual policy on fleet safety. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to just hit this download button. It's going to ask me if I want to do it in Word or PDF. So I'm just going to say Word. Shows up on the bottom of my screen. I'm going to open this for you. Oh, I went to my other screen. Let me just dump this over. You guys should see this on your screen. And here's a fleet safety policy right here. It puts my company name, Breakfast Club, in there. And you can, because again, it's in a Word document, you can manually change what is important here. But boom, within 30 seconds, you have a fleet policy. So it's just that simple. All right, what else did he talk about? I know he said something about a continuity plan. I think that was the other thing he had talked to us about.
Yep.
Okay. So here's a business continuity plan. Right here, here's the whole entire toolkit. So again, I can view it if I just want to see, what does this look like? I don't know if this is something that I really want to look at or download, but I can just bring it up. Go again to maybe the table of contents to see if this is something that would fit my business needs. So the mission statement, everything you need right here for continuity is at your fingertips. Oh, Michael's back, and now he is in a different office. Michael, can you hear us? You're on mute.
I can hear you. I apologize.
That's okay.
Apparently, my office by the bathrooms is not the hot spot in our office. So, something about the concrete walls, says our IT lady. So I apologize for that. Thank you for taking over. Business continuity, yes. Business continuity is a hot topic right now in the P&C world. One large reason is because many of our cyber liability carriers are requiring such a procedure in place. So we're getting some calls from our clients asking, hey, we need to put this business continuity plan in place. Can you help? And this is an amazing resource right here. And we've used this on a number of occasions.
Awesome. What else, Michael, besides we did go over, let's see, what did we do? We did the safety manuals. Just name some other things now, do some searches.
Fleet safety, did you talk about the fleet safety policy?
Yeah, I think we did fleet safety. Yep, we did that.
And then so this should be your safety library, really, if you can think of it in that way. Let's say, for example, you've got a contractor has a job coming up and they're doing something that they might not normally do. Let's say they're working from heights or using scaffolding, for example. If you could just type in scaffolding, and this could be a discussion point the week, that Monday morning, hey guys, we're going to be using scaffolding all week long. Here are some things that we need to, pay attention to. So there's just a great resource for various, safety. It's just a safety library is really what I want you to think of it as.
So they can use this presentation as a training tool, I'm assuming, for their clients.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I viewed this presentation, again, if you downloaded it, your name would be there, and it's 60 pages long. So that seems a lot for scaffolding in my mind, but
Yeah.
that's got to cover every single thing that you would ever think about with scaffolding. But so here's all the definitions right there. Perfect. I know, Michael, when I was in manufacturing, we had so many issues with forklift drivers. I mean, that was, so is that a big topic for you as well, or?
Yes, especially in the manufacturing world. It's, if we hire a new employee and we want them to be trained on forklift driving, or we have an existing driver that we feel, needs a refresh. If you just type in forklift training, you'll have a number of topics and documents that will pop up, from training to tests to quizzes, and
what's a certificate
you
too?
should be utilized. Yes.
Okay. That's great. I haven't done this stuff in so long, but my gosh, look at all the resources out there. Here's required OSHA programs and training. That seems to be, I would think that would be a pretty good tool for somebody as well. So anything else, Michael, that you can think of?
I don't know what you talked on while I was lost in space, so I'm not exactly sure, but those are certainly.
This a safety manual. I showed them a sample of a safety manual. I can bring it back up if you want me to.
If you've reviewed it, it's okay. But again, if you guys have questions, or you come across an issue with, you have a loss control visit and they tell you, I know we talked about the fleet safety program, but hey, auto continues to be an issue for carriers across the country, and they want to make sure that we have procedures in place to make sure that our auto fleet is as safe as possible. So you have that loss control visit, and you have these recommendations that must be met. Reach out to us or use this tool, to dig into that, to help yourself. I mean, it's just a great resource to save time, save money, and meet the requirements that they might be asking for.
Awesome. All right, Carrie, from the HR and benefit perspective, we've got a couple different areas here, but what are you getting from most popular topics as of late?
Susan, before we roll into HR for a minute, there is a question that came up on the safety side.
Okay.
Are there general OSHA regulations, or do they cover the specifics to my OSHA?
Yeah, so a lot of these documents are general OSHA documents. There are obviously more information available at my OSHA. A lot of these that you're seeing, for example, on the screen right now, you'll see an OSHA document, but a lot of these are not necessarily OSHA related. They are more really tools or talking points, little quizzes. But this platform as a whole is not specific to my OSHA.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, when I just typed in OSHA, look at the amount of things that came up here. So OSHA inspections, the form reminder video, and I should have mentioned that there are some videos out here as well. So if you are doing specific training, you can see that there's electronic reports are due March 2nd. Here's a video. So some areas do have videos, but when you go down to the bottom, look at how many pages there are just on OSHA if you search something. So maybe if there's something specific out there, and it might cover under the state law section, there might be some information on my OSHA there potentially.
And I also know from my experience working in the system, if you type the state before the policy that you're searching for, so if you typed Michigan and I don't know, some kind of policy, it would pull up a policy specific to Michigan. So
let's see if it does the Michigan paid medical leave. I'm just curious. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
So that is a really good point to type in the state first. I forgot to mention that, and thanks. And I can get into further state laws. There's a really cool app about specific state laws, and I want to get to that. So, and we're going along on time here. So Carrie, just what are some other popular things that we might need to show them?
I get a lot of requests from clients about specific ad hoc policies like PTO, a PTO policy. And a lot of times the client already has a handbook, but maybe they haven't reviewed their handbook in a couple of years and they just kind of want to refresh it. So PTO is a good one.
All right. And look at the
maternity and paternity leave policies are incredibly popular.
Yes, I'm just going to type in paternity. Here's a policy right here. I just thank you for reminding me of that. I think we had that a couple of weeks ago. We had a client that wanted to add this policy in. And I think there was another one on adoptions, an adoption policy as well. So you can search pretty much anything. And when I'm searching things, you'll see here location, industry, type and format, and topic. That's another thing that you can drill down in this, and depends on who your audience might be. So you have this option of location, industry, type and format, and topic up there as well. So I'm going to keep going here, but I just want you to know, I'm just going to click on a few of these. So discipline and termination. So if you need to revamp your policy, maybe you don't have an exit interview, you click on this and look at all the hot topics under discipline and termination that just show up. Here's an actually termination policy. If I go into, I'm going to skip employee benefits, I'm going to just go to forms and policies. So all the FMLA forms are out here, and they're always going to be the most up-to-date forms. I know a lot of us go to the but if you want to have the one-stop shopping, all of the latest forms are out here from the DOL. And so you can just find, here's all the COBRA notices, here's posters. So those are all out here. And then again, some other policies. Healthcare reform, we might have some changes this year with President Biden. And so that might become a popular topic again. Recruiting and hiring. So some of you on the phone or on the computer today on our seminar might be responsible for hiring, recruiting, training, etc. So here is just sections there. What are illegal HR questions to ask when you're interviewing? If you have a new HR person, they may have never been trained on this. It's right here at your fingertips. Reference Center. Here is a whole bunch of Q&As. I like this because it's just really quick snapshots. So again, if you're a new HR benefit person or maybe in safety, there's some real quick topics here on Q&A for educational purposes. Risk management and safety. Whole bunch of stuff on work comp right there. So that's basically the content library, but I want to get into the HR apps. This is where this would be life-changing for me as a new HR person. If I would have had this as a young HR professional, oh my gosh, I would have just looked like a complete rock star. So as you can see, you just on the HR apps, you have the total compensation statement builder, and I'm going to show you that real quick. There's sample job descriptions, but also there's a custom job description builder, and it walks you through and it gives you all the language you need. Salary benchmarking, we're going to go through that, but there's also an employee cost calculator, and you can read the rest down on the bottom, but there's a lot of great tools here. So total compensation statement, I'm going to launch this real quick. You can upload an entire list of employees and their information, and then you're going to be able to do the statements that I'm going to show you here. Or I had one client that every time they did a performance review, they created an individual compensation statement. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to bring this up on my screen here. So this is what a total compensation statement looks like. And your company name would be there. There's a nice little letter. And again, it's a Word document, so you don't have to include all of this. But this is what the total compensation statement looks like. So many employees, as we know, don't have any idea what their total compensation package looks like from an employer. So this gives an example of every single benefit that they get that includes their salaries and then all the extra benefits that they may not think about. So I just think it's a great tool to educate your clients on what great companies you all are. Okay, so that's a total compensation. So I'm going to go back to the main menu. Salary benchmarking. I use this all the time. If my clients call me and they have a quick question, I just go out here and search. And so you can do it a couple different ways. So you can actually search by a title. So if I put in accountant and I hit next, it's going to say, okay, what do you get more specific, but I'm just going to use this one, the top one. I'm going to hit next. Then I can select my state. So we'll go to Michigan. I can select my region. And you can see all different types of regions. I'll do Kalamazoo and Portage because that's where I'm sitting right now. And here's the yearly wage chart, the low, the median, and the high. And so you have a great example when you're trying to benchmark yourselves against other employers, what the pay scale might be. So it's just really simple and easy to use. So that is the total, the salary benchmarking. The custom job description builder. I'm going to launch that real quick. Again, you can do it by title. Let's, not be able to type. So if I do human resources manager, hit next. You can put all this information in here, and it doesn't take long to put the information in. So it asks you about supervisor responsibilities, etc. So what I did is I actually have a sample of one. So this is a sample of what the job description looks like. And again, I did this quick. I didn't get into great details, but I just wanted to give you guys a sample of what it would look like. So you can do obviously the departments, location, here's the supervisory responsibility, the purpose, tasks, and it helps you. It has all those tasks listed out there. And so you just have to click what is relevant to that position. Work activities. And here's the work content, qualifications, and skills. So Carrie, I'm going to stop. Do we have any questions on this?
We do have a question, but I think this is going to be geared towards Michael.
Okay.
And the question is, oh, the question went away.
Oh,
here we go. This particular client uses the Nulty Risk Management Center for training. So does the MyWave portal interface with the site?
Yeah, it does not. I just answered that. I'm sorry,
Okay.
But they do not. So the Risk Management Center, the platform is provided by Succeed. I personally prefer Succeed for training. Yeah. Other than training, I prefer this platform. I mean, for nearly everything else, especially from a library standpoint for documents, and but strictly from a training standpoint, I think that Succeed offers a few more tests and PowerPoint presentations, videos that are live from a training standpoint. So they are two separate platforms and are not merged at all, but both can be utilized, certainly.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, the Succeed platform that we have, you can actually use it to monitor training for your employees too and track it out there, correct, with Succeed?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
That's what I thought. Okay, so just again, want to make sure you see these tools out here. They are really easy to use. I'm going to keep going to our other section here, the compliance apps. So we do have a few clients of ours that use this platform for the AC reporting. So many of you are using your payroll platforms, which is great. Or if you have an online enrollment platform, we have Bernie Portal that our clients use. So if you have one of those two options, then you probably don't need this, but we still have people that do use the AC reporting. It's actually quite easy to put all the information in, and it spits out all your 1095Cs for you, and you can just mail them out with your W-2s, et cetera. I'm not going to get into the great details of this, but this is one thing that I really want to dive into a little bit, this multi-state comparison, because for those of you who have employees in other states, it's like, oh, how do I know what all those laws are that I have to worry about in other states? So I'm just going to quickly do, you can select all, don't advise it, but I'm going to do Michigan, oops, try to select Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. And then I'm just going to say, oh yeah, I want to include all the federal laws too. So I hit next, and I'm going to say, I want to learn about all of these different types of laws. So if I hit select all, you hit next. You can have, you can print it out in two different ways or view it in two different ways. You can have the topics across the screen, or you can have the states across the screen. I just do states, and then I'm going to create the chart. Takes a minute to build it. And here's the chart. You guys can see that okay, Carrie?
Mm-hmm.
So all of the federal laws that pertain to arrest and convictions, here's the Indiana, here's Michigan, and Ohio. So if I keep scrolling down, now I'm getting into the child labor laws. And I'm going to warn you, Michigan is really, really long here. Keeps going and going and going. So here's continuation of benefits, so COBRA. So as you can see, it's just such a helpful tool when you have to make sure that you're abiding by all the state laws that might be out there. Because sometimes, as we all know, that if the state law is more beneficial than the federal law, then you go by the state law. Usually that's how it works. But you can export this to Word. You can export it in a PDF. You can share the link. So if you need to send it to your other HR professionals or managers across the nation, you can just send this to them. So it is just a really great tool to have access to. I've used this a number of times for my clients as well. Going back to the HR apps, oops, the compliance apps. So Federal Poster Advisor, if you want to create your posters, you can do that right here as well. There also is an FMLA advisor. So if somebody is new to HR and they have to now manage family medical leave for their organization, this is a great tool there's lots of Q&As and different things that are out there. Notices. So here's a health plan compliance calendar. So you can actually do a calendar where it's going to tell you when everything is due for you for that year. And it's a great tool. You do have to, if I launch it here, you do have to input some information about your plans. And I've already did this. So this is all the things that I need to do for Breakfast Club right here. It will show me all my deadlines. And if I want to create a specific notice to give to my team members, I can do it right here. So it's a real easy tool to use. Compliance Notice Builder. So this is something that we do have a lot of notices that we need to give to our employees at certain dates throughout the year. This is where you would do that and make sure that you are up to date on everything that you need. And COBRA Notices Generator, you could use this for COBRA, but so many of you might use Nulty, you might use TPA. So there's lots of resources out there for that. Handbooks. So I started a handbook for the Breakfast Club because when you first get out here, it wants you to put some specific information in there. So right here, you can build a new handbook if you want, but I started one for the Breakfast Club. So if I go to actions, I can manage this handbook. So I can edit it or I can duplicate it. I'm going to edit it. So it starts with, again, I want everybody to notice that there's a Spanish translation up here, which I absolutely love this for our clients. So they have the option to print it off in either language. But here's the intro, but if I can do see more, and it tells me what policies are included in the intro. If I want to know what general work policies are, I can see all of these different policies that are in the general work. But let's say I want to continue here. And it actually shows me the policy. So I can decide, do I want to exclude it? Do I want to edit it? Do I want to review it? So you have a lot of options here on how you want to build your handbook, or maybe specifically change a policy in your handbook. And if I'm good with that section, I can just go down to continue to next section, which is technology. And here's email policy. Social media policy is kind of a question, not kind of a question, it's a question that we get periodically throughout the year. Somebody posted something on social media that maybe the management team didn't think was appropriate, which always raises the question, well, what is our social media policy? Well, if you don't have one, you might want to go out here and look at it. So you guys get the idea of how this works. You can approve the entire handbook, and it will just keep going through it. So, or to make it easy, you can just go right back to this screen here. The last thing we want to talk about before we can get into some questions is the settings right here. So all of you can decide if you want to get a weekly email from the client portal. This weekly email, just as a reminder, one, that you have access to this, because some people always say, oh, I forgot that I have access to this, do this, you guys give this to me. So what you could do is you can subscribe, you can go to the topics that are of interest to you. And so maybe it's all of these topics, but it might be something that you really only care about employee benefits. So if I just choose employee benefits, which is completely fine, save that. And hang on, trying to get back to my other screen here, but it's not letting me. Back. Well, I know you can put in the region. I'm not sure why this is doing this. Maybe I just have to hit this button here. Yeah, there we go. You can go into your location, so you can do it state specific again, which I really like that. So if there's anything hot that's going on, I know when the Michigan Paid Leave Act came out, because I subscribed to this, I was always getting updated information on the Michigan Paid Leave Act. So that was great to have. So you can do your specific states that you want. I'll just pick Colorado because that seems to be a nice state to be in right now. And industries. So if you want it to be industry specific, you can choose, let's say I'm in construction. And so now my weekly emails that I get from this are going to be pertinent to my job. So I'm not going to just be getting a bunch of fluff for things that I don't need. So we have 5 minutes left, and I know this was a really quick demo on this, but I just wanted to make sure all of you knew you had it, you have access to it. If you don't remember how to get into it, let us know. We're happy to resend your login information. And Carrie, were there any questions out there that we can answer real quick?
So Susan, if a client has not signed up for this before, what is their next step?
Yeah, easy thing. You can email any of us at Nulty, whoever is your main contact. Sandy in our office, Sandy Rogop in the employee benefits team is the one that will get clients set up for employee benefits. Sue Davidson in the commercial lines team is the one who will do that. So, or you can just email any of us. We are happy to help you. We'll get you right where you need to be and get you your login information.
And another question kind of on the same topic, can a client have more than one user set up in the system?
Great question. You absolutely can. Let's say you have a team of HR and benefit professionals, but they are an expert, a subject matter expert, maybe just in benefits. So that's all they want to see. And maybe you have a safety manager and they just want to see information on safety. You absolutely can have multiple people signed up.
Okay. Awesome.
Any other questions?
No, that's, oh, wait, we have another one come in.
Okay.
Oh, this is the same question about can the user combine their login for a risk management site and the general portal?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you absolutely can. So the whole thing is on for everybody. So you can have access to all of that. All right, so we have a couple minutes to spare here. So I think our next thing to do is to choose our winner for the Breakfast Club gift certificate. So this is the fun thing. All right, how about everybody signed up? We have you all in a spreadsheet. So if I pick number, how about 54, Carrie? I don't know where I came up with 54, but let's go with 54.
All right. Our lucky winner is Julie Calloway.
Yay!
Hey, Jules!
Yay, Julie Calloway. All right, Julie, you can either put in the Q&A your favorite breakfast spot, or we will contact you afterwards and get that gift certificate to you so you can support local businesses. So anybody has any other questions, please email us, call us. We're here for you. But just utilize this great portal. Hopefully it's going to make your job easier, which is our whole goal, is to make your job easier and to be partners of yours on the benefits, HR, and the property and casualty side. So everybody enjoy this day. The sun went away. I still see a little bit blue sky, but enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks so much for being part of this morning, and watch for future webinar invites on our Breakfast Club series for 2021. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.